It was super loud on my side. Welcome to the I Don't Know Bro podcast.
My headphones were turned down.
Oh, you got a volume control right there on the thing.
Yeah.
That's neato.
Yeah. And it was turned all the way down.
Oh, well, glad we got that figured out.
Yeah.
My name is Hunter. I'm one of the hosts of the show.
I'm Zarek Baldwin. I'm the other host of the show.
Heck yeah. We're two boys.
Two, well,
Just
big boys.
Just in case you didn't know, we're both boys.
Has there been any questions?
I just want everyone to know.
Okay. All right. We're just going to go
It's important
with
to me that people know that we're boys.
Okay.
So stupid. Anyway, right off the bat here, I wanted to talk about a couple of things before we jump into today's topic.
Interesting.
We had a couple donors.
A couple donors.
Couple donors that are trying to help us keep this thing going, and that is very, very cool and very kind and very sweet that you want to give your hard-earned money to this dog trash podcast that we're
Right, and we do truly appreciate it.
yeah, so much. Like it's so very sweet.
We're still trying to figure things out, so we really appreciate you guys rocking with us, supporting us as we go through this journey. This is a brand new journey for myself.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, much fun.
But we wanted to shout out Aunt April.
My Aunt April.
You're now our Aunt April.
Yes.
That's okay.
Aunt April Walker.
Heck yeah. And then my buddy Frank Rios that I used to work with. You guys are the bomb. And if you also want to be a part of this craziness, you can head over to the Cash App and donate there if you want to. No pressure, but we'd very much appreciate it. The Cash App is hashtag IDK Bro Podcast.
IDK. That stands for I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it's an abbreviation.
Yeah.
If you will, perchance. Hence, nope. Yeah, okay, so the next little bit of business here is we really, really need you guys to head over to iTunes and rate and review the podcast. If there is an option on Spotify and Google and anywhere else.
It's got to be an option for Google. I just feel like that's what Google's about.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't really dived. I haven't divin into it too much.
Ain't really dipped your foot in that water.
Which I probably should do. But I haven't. But if you can rate and review anywhere that you can, that'd be awesome. We do check, and we will be reading some reviews on air. We're not live, but
reviews, questions. If you have questions, we love Q&As. And
yeah,
we are definitely looking forward to doing Q&As. We just need a few of them.
Which leads me to my next point. If you guys can please head over to Twitter or Instagram at IDK Bro Podcast. Follow that there. We do have the email as well, but that is fully spelled out. I don't know, bro, podcast at gmail.com.
Gmail, because that's Google, baby.
Yeah, message us, tweet at us, comment on Instagram, ask questions, give us suggestions for the podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys, especially if you're listening to the podcast. Like, we want some feedback. We've gotten a few like personal messages here and there through like family members and friends that have texted us, but like for sure make it public so that we can share and love on you guys for loving us.
Correcto.
Excuse me. Okay, now that that's done, today we're going to talk about some jobs we've worked at.
Some JOBs. You know, there's people in this world that can't talk about this.
Because they don't work?
Because they don't work.
Millennials, am I right? I mean, no.
No, because we're in that category.
Yeah, we're elder millennials. Though,
we're elder. We're like right at that edge.
I don't know.
Yeah. I've had a lot of jobs in my life.
Oh, yeah.
My first job was interesting.
What's
my
that?
Very first. Actually, you know what? I really can't say it was my first job because I remember growing up wanting extra money. Like as a kid, I'm talking like 12 in Big Springs. I would cut yards for money, you know. And in Big Springs, it really was like cutting dirt. You be cutting it, just big cloud of dust around you the whole time.
Brown buggers.
But yeah, so I guess you can kind of say that was my first job. But I guess my first like legit job, my uncle hooked me up with It was doing light construction.
Light construction.
Like, so we would like install trash chutes, toilet
AKA
petitions.
Me.
Huh?
I'm a trash chute.
So yeah, we would do trash chutes, toilet petitions, dry erase boards, pretty much.
Oh, light is in like easy construction.
Easy construction.
I was thinking like electric, like
no, that would be. I have worked
like
as an
flip a
electrician
switch and you
as
have
well.
lights.
Yeah, I did work as an electrician for a little while, and on my days off, I'm going to be doing it again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Get that
just for extra
coinage.
cash,
Yeah.
you know. That's a fun hobby. I've been shocked several times.
I don't want to do that. And I was at my aunt and uncle's yesterday, and they wanted to tase me, or my uncle did rather.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a douche like that.
I just feel like tasing.
We love him,
and
but what about him?
being shocked by a light.
Not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Not even close.
I feel like tasing would be way worse. Well, I don't know, because that could end up being a constant.
Yeah,
But
I mean, the taser is literally designed to match the frequency of your neuro. Wait, what's the system? The one with all the nerves. That
Yeah.
makes you like
all them
seize
things
up.
that go through all them veins and stuff.
Yeah, the white ones. I
All
can't
them
remember
things
what
that go
those
through your
ones are called.
body.
What's that system called? Your neurological system.
Neurological system.
I think that's the one.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't go to school for
I'm
this.
not a scientist.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but I guess what he has is a stun gun.
Okay. I
It
believe.
just makes a lot of noise and kind of hurts, but
Yeah.
doesn't like kill you like a cop's one, a police officer's.
Yeah. So you my first job, Blue Sky Sales was the name of the company.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Sounds so pretty. But yeah, it was it had it had its ups and downs. The co-owner of the company hated me.
Why is that?
Hated me. I honestly think it had a lot to do with the color of my skin.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What a
And it
D-bag.
I never had a problem with work ethic ever. My
Yeah.
whole life has been built.
Oh, I can tell you all about it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
My whole life has been around work ethic.
Yeah.
And he's the only guy in my life that ever said I was lazy, ever said I didn't do anything.
Wow.
And everybody else on the crew was like, what?
That don't make any sense because you're a hustler, baby.
Right. And so we were working one time, and he was there working with us. This is like the only job he ever worked with us. And I was like, hey, what can I do? He just pretty much just had me standing there, like really would not let me do anything.
And then called you lazy for
And
it?
then called me lazy.
Whose fault is that?
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm looking at the other crew members, and I'm like, man, like, and because they've been working with this guy for years, and they're like, yeah, he's not letting you do anything. But yet, literally at the same time,
Mm-hmm. Calling you out for
calling
being
me out. And so it was right before college. And so I ended up leaving to go to college. And I came back, and he was like, no, you're not hiring him again. He didn't do this, and blase, blase. And, I wasn't even trying to get back on with the crew. It was just something he was saying. But yeah, he called my uncle and was telling my uncle this stuff. And my uncle was like, what? Like, yeah, it's
Oh, I forget. You can't see my eyebrows raised when I'm on a podcast.
yeah. That's why we need video, man.
Oh, boy. That's a lot.
Yeah.
We'll think about it.
No, there's no thinking. We're doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's neat.
Yeah, what was your first job?
My first job was at a movie theater.
Oh.
Yeah. Started selling popcorn for people. Yes, I
Local?
pronounced it popcorn. Yeah, the one. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say the name because they don't deserve it.
Gotcha. well, hold on, because there was an old one that's not here anymore.
Not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Gotcha.
too young.
So
when
the
that one
newer
showed
one.
up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
But it's a podunk theater. I mean, it was really cool when it first opened, and now it's just kind of getting gross, I think.
Right.
and
Lack
like-
of upgrading.
Yeah. And they had a full opportunity recently when there was a gigantic shooting. Well, I wouldn't say gigantic, but there was a shooting involved.
Yeah, there could have been massive upgrades.
Yeah, they could have done a little something, especially with that insurance coin.
Yeah, come on.
Whatever. It's not my business.
I want them to put those seats in that rock and move, and They even got like little fans that
Oh,
blow.
like those 4D theaters?
Bro,
Those scare me.
I sat in one of those on accident.
That's quite a surprise.
I went to the movies and it was dark and they were open and I just sat in one. I didn't even realize they looked different than the other ones. And I just sat there.
Oh, there was like regular seats and
those.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so those were like literally just the middle rows up.
How
All
weird.
the middle rows, and the rest of them were just regular.
Yeah.
And so I guess they had assigned seating, but nobody just was assigned these yet. So I was sitting in there, and the movie starts, and the seat starts rocking and going with the movie, and I'm like, what in the world? Like this, I'm like, dang, how are their tickets not more than everybody else's? Come to find out, they are actually. I didn't have to pay for it that night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Were they assigned and you just didn't know?
No, yeah, they were
Yeah.
assigned. I found out that this whole movie theater was assigned, and I've been going there, but I've never had an issue. I always just sat in a random seat.
Yeah.
So one night, I guess I just happened to sit in somebody's seat that night, and the guy comes, he shines his flashlight in my face, and he's like, "Let me see your ticket." And I'm like, "All right, bro, like here." Racist asshole.
So sorry.
Come to find out, no, he wasn't racist at all. I was in the
Just
wrong
doing
seat.
his
He was
job.
like, "Oh, this isn't your seat, bro. You're like over here." And I'm like, "Wait, when did y'all start doing assigned seatings?" He was like, "Well, we've always done it." And I'm like, "Damn,
Oops.
my bad."
Dude, that would have scared the living hot piss out of me if I was in a theater and then all of a sudden things started moving and
Bro,
I'd have lost it.
it had a fan too, so I guess like when the wind would blow on the movie, the fan would blow. It had like fans built into the
That's
seat.
so crazy.
They called it like RTX or something.
Isn't RTX a festival?
Hey
Rooster
man, I'm
Teeth?
just here. I didn't get roofied.
No, I don't know. That's still crazy. That would've
Yeah,
freaked
I
me
don't know. It was pretty cool though.
out. It was a disgusting job, that's for sure. Like working in a theater. Well, you got to think of like all of the popcorn and sody waters that people drop, and it's just
You had to clean it too.
Oh yeah, like every like hour to hour and a half, like you would get a list of showtimes and like when the movie would get out, and then you would just have to go and sweep up and clean between every showing.
Oh wow. Now see,
and like you would take turns doing it. It was just awful because then you would find like condoms and like dirty
seriously?
diapers.
They
yeah.
do it really that much in the movie theaters?
Like it was bad. I don't know if they still do. Here
I'm sure
now.
things haven't
Yeah.
changed.
I'm sure it's only gotten worse. But yeah, we found all kinds of fun accoutrement in the theater.
Wow. Because I know a few people that they clean movie theaters for a living. And
like at night?
At
after
night. They go after
Oof.
night.
That's a
and
not
do
me
it.
thing that I ever want to do.
And I've heard a lot of stories about the movie theater here.
Yeah.
Creepy stuff at night. Like,
Really?
yeah.
About the newest one?
Yeah.
Mm.
You hear like somebody was telling me how they heard someone scream from across the movie
No.
theater.
Uh-uh.
They see this lady there. I'm guessing they said she's like famous for this movie theater. She old black lady.
Oh, Marion.
Marion, I guess.
Yeah, she was my manager.
She's been seen there.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna have to do we're gonna see if we can talk to the owner and be like, hey, we
I'm
just
not.
want to do. No,
You can.
You don't want to do a
that
haunted,
would be a
haunted
solo
podcast.
That would be a solo podcast for you that night.
I'll find somebody that'll do
Well,
it.
you can do that.
I'm not one of those that's like, if I see it, okay, but I'm not gonna be like one of those like, will you speak to me?
Have you ever seen it?
seen her?
Ghost.
I have.
Yeah, I'm not about that.
It's not fun.
I've been there.
Always.
Yeah, no.
I just had a little stroke.
Yeah, no. I've been there, and I'm not. I don't plan on going back.
Yeah, she was kind of mean, so I don't know if she'll be like a poltergeist now or.
There's
something.
a little boy that lives in my house now.
Like
Yeah, there's been some creepy
a
stuff.
ghosty boy.
Well, not a human. Well, he was human. I mean,
I was like, tell me more.
yeah, tell me more. I call him Peter Pan. Not just
That's
yeah,
cool
just some
that you
little weird
named him, I
kid that There's weird things that happen in my house now, and you could tell it's a kid.
That's weird. I don't know that I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, you could tell it's a kid. Like if you get up and you go in the middle of the night to use the restroom, you hear little footsteps. Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Tootie?
Yeah,
Tootie
I'm sure.
Roo?
Tootie does not get out of that blanket. Like in a she gets up lets me know when she has to potty in the middle of the night. She'll go potty, and then literally she's under that blanket before I can get back there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's not a morning person. She's not a morning dog
person at all.
Yeah, she's not a person, but she's not a morning dog.
That's really weird that you say that, because I mean I've never heard that happening at the theater, but my dad used to tell me of some creepy crap that would happen. He used to work. He was a projectionist like way back in the day. For one of the older theaters, I think. I don't remember if it was what.
That was back when they like had to switch the reels out and stuff. Or?
Oh yeah, but that was still a thing when I was working there.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was.
You would think
crazy.
that'd be like digital.
It is mostly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think it. You know where the Arcadia is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
downtown.
I think he used to. I think that at one point was a movie theater.
Yeah,
I think that's
without
what
a
he was.
doubt.
That was the one that he used to work at.
Oh man, I can
And
only
he said
imagine.
that one of his coworkers had committed suicide in the theater.
What?
Yeah, and he had like a plaque that had his name on it, and I guess some blood splattered onto it or whatever. And they said that, or he told me that they used to throw it away and it would like show back up.
No way.
Yeah, that's a no. Well, that's awful.
Yeah.
I would never ever want to see that. But I did meet one of my
My heart would like
yeah,
go crazy.
kerpow.
Yeah.
Pop.
There's a
It
lot.
would do a see you later.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my last time working.
Put you in a forever box.
They would. Well, what happened with Zarek? Well,
That'd be so scary.
yeah, that'd be the end of Zarek's career there.
I met a really cool friend working at the movie theater that like around that time is when the movie Hot Rod came out.
Hot Rod. Yes.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies by far, just because of the hashtag yawn nostalgia of it.
I'm just glad that we've seen a movie.
Oh, that we've both seen
That
a
we've
movie.
both seen a movie. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But we used to quote it all the time. We still do. Like randomly we'll text each other that stuff. But some of like the coolest friendships blossomed from that first job.
Yeah. It's crazy how you can get great friendships from a shit job.
Oh yeah, but
Y'all
that's
have to come
that's
together
usually
for it.
how. Yeah, that's I would kind of say that's kind of why
Yeah.
we started being friends.
Right.
But not that our job is crap, because it's not. But
Oh, right now, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Our job's not crap.
some
but-
some aspects of it are
Some,
crap because you just sit there for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
It's either become friends or
Stare.
stand off in a corner and be weird. And
Yeah.
no one likes that.
Yeah. But, speaking of, like, creepy stuff at jobs, in prisons, I've spent a lot of time working in prisons, and, oh, my God, there's so much creepy stuff that goes on in prisons.
I believe it.
So much. Like, there's a lot of worshiping of other gods and stuff that goes on in prisons.
Oh,
Like...
do tell.
Like devil worshipping, witchcraft. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And they had nothing but time to read and do this
Practice.
stuff. Yeah. Literally. So one particular story, we go to take this guy out of a cell. He's leaving.
Yeah.
Catching chain is what we call it. And he's
Catching
like
chain.
catching chain.
Okay.
So he's catching chain. He says, "Hey, Baldwin, it was me and another guy I was working with, goes by the name of Jackson." And he says, "Hey, don't go into my cell." He's like, "And whoever goes into my cell, whoever gets my cell after I leave, they're gonna go crazy."
Whoa.
And we're like, "What?" Like, man, shut up.
Be like, undo it, dumbass.
And yeah, we don't have time for this. Stop playing. So we go into his cell, and there's this huge pentagon on his wall that he
Gross.
drew on the wall. Huge pentagon. And I kid you not, like...
Oh, pentagram.
Pentagram.
The star with the circle thing?
Yeah, not the
I
pentagon.
was like,
Yeah.
that's just a fun
Yeah.
shape.
No, pentagram.
Gotcha.
So, and literally, man, the next person that went in there, I think they tried to kill themselves like several times.
Inmate or?
Yeah, inmates. They tried to kill themselves like several times. Just all kinds of stuff would only happen in that cell.
Who cleaned it off or painted over it?
Normally that stuff doesn't even get... The next inmate normally takes the stuff off.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we don't go paint over it or clean the walls. We don't have time.
Right, and it's not like renovating an apartment before somebody else
Yeah,
moves in.
exactly. No, if there's there's like, I mean, if there was blood or feces on the wall,
Right.
it would get clean. But like drawings and stuff, nah, just
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're not going to give you a clean canvas to start over with.
Right. That's a lot of. I mean, if you think about all of the prisons that
Oh
ever
my
exist,
gosh, yeah.
and how many crazy things like that happen, how many gallons and millions of dollars
Yeah.
would you have to spend on
Bro,
paint?
okay, so this particular prison I'm at, like literally, I mean, you can see where chunks of the paint would break off,
Because it was so thick.
and you would see like the so many layers of paint
God.
that I'm talking. Oh my God, so many layers, different colors. It literally
Yeah.
looked like the inside of a jawbreaker.
They have a term for that stuff that I can't remember, but they normally will break it up at like car manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll polish it and make it into a stone of some kind and put it on jewelry, but I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I mean and those bars are super thick, mainly because of how many layers of paint are on there.
Oh, I thought they would just be thick because they didn't want anybody to.
No, the
bend
bars
them.
really aren't that thick, but
Really?
after so many years of paint being on there, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that's just one particular story. I remember we're sitting in the picket, me and two other officers, and the door just opens.
Sitting where?
In the picket. So
What's that?
the picket is like the control center for that floor. It's
Okay.
where, so each floor in this particular prison, it was an upright prison. So you have your picket, and in the picket, there's buttons and everything to control the doors with.
Uh-huh.
So you have your picket officer, then you have your floor officers. And that picket is pretty much central control for that floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your main central control for the building, which controls everything in the buildings, has all the keys and all that. But
Yeah.
then you have your picket master, which is just the picket for that unit. And we're all in the picket, and literally the door just like creeps open.
Don't like that.
And I look at my.
Is it not locked?
Yeah, they're locked, but we had just left it unlocked. And these are heavy doors. They don't just
Yeah, they don't
open.
just swing. Yeah.
It never just opens. And so this one particular day, it opens. And I asked my other officer, I'm like, "Hey, did you see that?" And he's like, "Nope."
Don't even acknowledge it. Yeah.
Nope.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh my
I mean,
God.
especially the first one. I don't like that even a little bit. Like I
Yeah.
had a best friend in middle school whose older brother was kind of into the occult, I guess.
Yeah.
And just weird feel like as a kid, like I don't think I picked up on it as much because I didn't want to. Like I didn't want to not
Right.
be able to go hang out with my friend, especially growing up with, my family that was fairly religious, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know. I chose to ignore some of those things, but like retrospectively looking back at it, like there were like feelings that I remember having in their
Right.
house that was just like not okay.
Yeah. I'm super sensitive to things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I could walk into a house or a room and I just get dizzy.
Do your eyes do a weird thing when you feel something like that?
No, I get dizzy and it's almost like my body gets weak. Like I have to grab something.
That's crazy.
I remember one time, man, I was working at the prison and I walked we were on break and I walked into this, me and another officer, I walked into a corner store and the lady like working the register, she's just like standing there. She has like this nervous look on her face and there's another guy and there's a guy, he's not working there, but he's just standing there.
Ugh.
And I walked by him and dude, I lost it. Like I had to grab onto a pole. I mean, my whole body just like, it was almost like I had a seizure.
No.
Yeah, like, and my other officer grabbed me and he was like, "Man, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like,
There's some not
I
good in
couldn't
here.
explain to him because
Yeah.
I knew what was triggering me.
But then
but-
you look like a crazy person because a lot of
Exactly.
people don't get it.
And
Believe
so
me, I know that.
in my head, as an officer, as a correctional officer, and just a good human being, period, it's like, do I leave this lady here with this guy? Or
No, that's a rescue me situation.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a hard situation to deal with. But in that moment, I was extremely vulnerable. Like if that dude was to try something, I would have I would have lost that battle because I had lost all control of myself at that moment. I don't know.
I think you're allergic to ghosts.
I think so.
Or evil spirits.
Evil spirits, man. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy. Like, that's something that I've just learned literally in this moment about you.
Yeah.
Being sensitive to that kind of thing, which is something that I have dealt with a lot in my life.
Yeah.
And like, whenever I go into a room or a scenario or a situation where where something is not right, like, my eyes freak out. And it's almost like have you ever seen a cartoon where like the cartoon gets stretched and then all of a sudden it just pops back together really fast?
Yeah.
It almost feels like my eyes like stretch out. I don't even know how to explain it, but they just like flex. I don't know, in the weirdest way. And then I'm like, okay, high alert, like something is not all right here.
Yeah. I remember it happened to me one time at an estate sale. I walked into we're walking through a house.
Dead people, man.
Yeah, we're walking through a house and everything, but then I walked into the master bedroom, and as soon as I go into the master bedroom, it's like the whole room. It almost feels as if like the Matrix,
like a funhouse situation.
Yeah, like literally, I'm just like, oh my god! And I was the girl I was dating at the time. I grab her. And I'm like, hey, we got to go. I said, it's time to go.
Like, suck it up, wuss.
Yeah. And she's like, well, what's wrong? Because she was sensitive to things too. So I don't know.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. So I don't know if she felt anything, but she was just like,
yeah.
All right, well, let's go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And oh man, there's just so many weird things, especially working at the prisons, man. So we were working one night. I was on a night shift, and I was on, I want to say, the 5th floor. And I hear me and my other 2 officers, we hear this scream it's blood curdling. I'm talking a death scream.
Daddy,
whoever screamed, whoever screamed was going through something, as if they were on fire.
Like torment.
So we take off running to Sea Wing. And we're like, what in the world? It's pitch black. Everybody is asleep.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not pitch black. There's lights, but it's
right.
pitch black for a prison.
Yeah.
And everybody's asleep. There's calm, extremely calm. No situations going on. We're like, what in the world? We get back to the pick and the phone's ringing. And the floor below us, we're like, hey, did y'all just hear somebody screaming?
No, I just got goosebumps.
Yes. And we're like, what in the world? Like, yeah, man.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What's another job you
It's, oh my God. There was an officer that killed him.
Oh, we're still going.
Yeah,
okay.
We're still going. There was an officer that got killed by inmates. And you would still hear him walking and his keys shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
No.
Yeah. Crazy
I don't want
stuff, man.
Okay. Another job I worked at was in an arcade. That was kind of fun.
Where? Here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here. The one in the mall?
Yeah, most jobs were here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Bad. It wasn't like the worst.
It's creepy walking in there, though.
Yeah, dude, that mall has got some funkiness.
Yeah.
About it. There was funny again, like the people that I think I've carried somebody with me from every single job, and that's where I met my godson's dad.
Okay.
And then we became friends, and like that job honestly was really, really cool though. If it weren't for I don't know, I should be careful saying this because I don't want it getting like back to people, but the manager that I had was kind of a creepo.
Oh.
Whoops. Got into some trouble later on, like way after I worked there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of fun because we would get to play the games for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like, dude, I was such a master of Guitar Hero. And there was like this Japanese racing game that we were all good at. It was really cool. We'd have like employee parties and get to invite like 1 or 2 people each. and we'd all come and eat pizza and play video games and laser tag throughout the entire arcade instead of just the laser tag arena.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that was a blast. Because the people that I worked with at the time, we actually tore down the entire laser tag arena and rebuilt it.
Oh,
and
dang.
made a different maze and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Oh man, dude, I would love to own a laser tag. There's a lot of money in that.
I want a big one,
Right.
like with obstacles and
Have different rooms.
yeah,
Definitely build like a Nuketown.
Nuketown.
Please tell me you know what I'm talking about.
It sounds like a
right
video
now.
game related thing, and I feel like we've already had that conversation.
I wish people could see my face.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Nuketown, come on, man. It's a classic Call of Duty map.
Oh yeah,
I've slayed so many
been able to
people.
play video games like ever.
I've slayed so many people on Nuketown. But yeah, dude, there's laser tag arena. Yeah, multiple rooms. Even maybe do like a little outdoor thing.
Yeah.
Bro, it'd be crazy.
Especially at night. Like this town needs more nighttime activities.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised there's no like Nerf competitions like that. Like you have paintball, you
Yeah,
have
I was
airsoft.
about to say. I think that's the closest they get.
Yeah. But it would be pretty dope if they had a Nerf one.
How would you like score that?
Well, there's normally like refs.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
So-
it would be more of a Velcro situation, so it didn't just bounce off of you, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, because airsoft bounces off, but they have refs like all over the
Yeah.
place. So
Have you seen that video on Facebook circulating where the guy is just like single firing his airsoft gun, and they're like, "No full auto, no full auto."
oh
He's
yeah.
like, "That's not full auto." He's like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "No, this is." And then like goes back. He's like, "Well, dang, I'm out."
yeah, yeah, it's oh man, bro, I love those airsoft things. We don't have any here. We have paintball here, but paintball is just such an expensive hobby.
Plus, I feel like it's way more painful.
Oh man,
Well, my experience with it was
yeah.
because my idiot friends would shoot me in the hip like point blank, and it would like bounce off the bone in my hip.
Goodness,
Wouldn't even bust the ball. That sucked.
I remember when I was little. So we spent some time going to the Apostolic Church when I was a kid.
Yep.
And one of the Apostolic Church members owns a paintball thing here. He's owned it ever since I was little. And I remember we went out there and played paintball with him one time. It was just like me versus him. And he's like this master sniper paintball guy. He's like, will destroy you, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm walking looking for him. And then all I hear is him say, "You're dead."
Oh no.
And so I turn around. I like jump and turn around and I fire one off. And I remember watching it just soar through the air and it shoots him right in the neck.
Uh-oh.
Like it turned out to be funny, but
Yeah.
I mean, he would have definitely killed me.
Did he come after you after that, or was
Nah,
like, "Oh,
nah.
well, you won, bud"?
No, he was like, "No, you lost." But no, that it was never sugarcoated for me. He was all, "No,
Yeah.
you lost, but you know, good
Oh,
shot."
God, that makes me hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I
just
remember
shot
the
him right in
pain
the
of
neck.
like paintball whelps.
Yeah, so fun though. And I remember when I first moved back to Kerrville, I saw that guy. And he was like, "Oh, you're that." He got excited to see me. He was happy to see me. And then he's like, "Oh, you're the one that shot me in the neck."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
You
great.
remember my name.
Yeah.
Well, what's another job you've had?
Oh my gosh.
So we covered light construction,
Light construction.
mowing lawns,
We talked about HEB
Sky
last
Blue.
time.
Yeah.
Where I got fired from HEB.
Mm-hmm.
I worked. I've ran a food truck.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Oh man, it was fun. It was fun. The guy I was working with though, he wasn't a good guy, and he just had horrible ideas, just horrible. So it failed simply because of like different places he would want to particularly be,
Yeah.
which just dead parking lots in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, no, man, like, come on. It's
Did he not want to work, or?
pretty much, I guess. I don't know. We're spending all this money on food. It's like, bro, let's go downtown. Let's go to
Yeah.
at this time, this is when downtown was like, was even more popping with nightclubs. A lot of them is shut down, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go downtown. downtown. Let's go to where the bars are. Once they get out and man, there's a lot of money to be made,
Yeah.
but you want to sit in this
Drunk
empty
people
parking lot.
love food.
Right. Right. I worked at Zio's for a little while as a it's how I got started in the food industry.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah. I worked at Zio's as a busser. So, worst
They used to have those.
job of my life. Like the first time they were paying me like $8 an hour
Ugh.
and
But
tips.
those meatball sandwiches, though.
Right. So the first night I'm there, I left with like $70 in tips.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, dope. Okay, I can do this. I can make that work.
Yeah.
That was the only night I walked out with that kind of money.
Why?
Yeah, they were like, oh, well, since on your first night, we give you a higher rate of tips.
That's
and then
crap.
it dropped down. So I was walking out there with like $15 to $20 a night after
You were
that.
getting gypped.
Yeah,
Somebody
big
wasn't
time.
doing their tip share.
Big time. So I was just like, no, this isn't working for me. So from there, I just got back into the fitness industry
Yeah.
and
Started
started
working
working.
those certified hands.
Right. That's when I got with Krav Maga, teamed up with those guys, which was a blast.
Yeah.
A complete blast. Then I became a sales manager for Anytime Fitness.
Oh.
And so I started doing sales management, and that ended abruptly because it was a family owned, right?
Yeah.
So I put in, their numbers were just horrible. And so I put in a sales system to where each sales rep had to be accounted for themselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a free for all. You know, it was as a person comes in, we have our whole list of names. It goes down in order. You make appointments and this and that. If an appointment comes in, that doesn't knock you out of that order. So pretty much everybody that would come in after I put the system in was an appointment. And it was like pretty much just me and the owner's son who was selling. The owner's son never even worked out. He just never worked out. He wasn't even into fitness.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it just was a job.
he was just his dad's gym. So
right.
his dad comes to me and he's like, Zarek, we need to talk. He's like, normally my son's the number one sales rep in the store. What's going on? And I'm like, I say, the system shows every person that comes in is an appointment now. Because I'm calling these people, I'm getting them interested. I'm the reason they're coming through the door.
Right.
Your son's not making any phone calls. Your son's not putting any effort. He's just waiting on people to come through the door. I say we actually have order now, which will not only help everybody in this gym, but it'll help the gym out as well. Because now there's not 2 or 3 people trying to get this customer as they walk in.
Yeah.
And making this customer uncomfortable. So they end up letting me go. He fired me. Pretty much said
his son wasn't number one.
Yeah, and him letting me go was like, he's like, it's just business. You're just not getting the job done. And I said, how? When I'm number one. I'm number one in the store.
Yeah.
I'm putting in these sales. I'm
Not
signing
only
up all
are
these
you
new
number
people.
one, but you were systematically improving how the gym works.
Exactly. Now here's the funny thing.
Oh, man.
Literally, I want to say 3 months later, that gym shut down.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't making.
They took all the charisma out of it.
There was no money being made. Literally, I remember sitting there and I would watch the owner. He'd go to the soda machine, or they had a little machine that had sodas and snacks in it at a gym.
At a gym. Cool.
And he would empty it. He'd take all the money out and all the coins, and he'd be like, "Yeah, we're about to go eat dinner." And I'm like, "What
the heck?
Like, you're a gym owner, bro." So there's been. And then there was a few times to where our checks would be late or our check would bounce.
Oh, God.
And he was like, oh, yeah, we had to go get a loan to pay you guys. What do you mean you had to go get a loan? That's how much they weren't making any money.
Yeah.
And I came in and I was trying to help the numbers. I was trying to get them out of the red, but you're more worried about paying your son and paying his wife. His wife was a masseuse there. She was only appointments, and I think she may have had one appointment a day. But she also taught a class.
One a day?
Yeah, she would also teach little aerobics classes.
Yeah.
He was paying his wife $3,000 every 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Just to do that. So literally, they were draining him. just draining the money for him, his wife, and his son. Pretty much,
they weren't getting members,
getting
fast
loans to like pay everybody else.
Jeez.
Yeah, there was just no money being made at that gym. So, my roommate at the time was a personal trainer at that gym, and she came back like literally maybe 30 minutes later. I was like, "What are you doing here?" She was like, "Well, there's chains on the door and a sign that says you've been shut down for lack of payment."
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to keep the lights on before you can employ people. How many people were working there? Other than you,
well,
his son,
with
and
personal
his wife?
personal trainers don't really qualify because they're getting paid from the person that they're personally training.
That's where they effed up.
Right.
Because they
So-
should have been paying the gym and the gym paying the trainers, so the gym could take their cut.
Well, the gym was taking a cut as well. So the gym would get a cut,
Yeah.
plus I think you would get I think it was a 50-50 split. I think you'd get 50% of what they were paying and the gym would get 50% of what they were paying. But one of my biggest problems with it is they would tell all these people, "We'll train you like an athlete."
Yeah.
And all these trainers, not one of them has ever been an athlete. How can you train somebody to be something you've never been?
Wow. Big facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm in there. My whole life has been athletics. And I remember my roommate came to me and she was asking me something. And she had been a personal trainer for 2 years, certified personal trainer. And I was just getting into that whole aspect of.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Can you believe I'm asking you for advice?" I said, "I'm the one you should be asking." I said, "You've been doing this for 2 years. I've been doing this. My whole life has been dedicated to this." I said, "Just because I didn't have a certification that you have doesn't make me less qualified."
Yeah. Or
I said, "I've been
unknowledgeable.
in the battles. I've been in that athletic situation my whole life that you're attempting to train these people in.
Yeah.
You think just going in there yelling at them while they're throwing kettlebells
Yeah.
is training like an athlete." I'm like, there's a whole nother aspect of being an athlete that you'll never witness.
Right. I mean, you have to talk about the nutrition side and
Yeah, there's the nutrition
the rest side of
the
it.
rest side, but the biggest part of it is the mental aspect. The whole mental aspect. If fighting through pain, fighting through all this, and an athlete competes, the whole competitive nature of it, you have to be a lion.
Yeah. You have to compete against yourself.
Yeah.
To
So
prove
you
to
have
your body
to
what you're capable of.
If you're competing as an athlete, you're competing against yourself and everybody else around you.
Yeah.
So if my 40 time is a 4.6, I want to beat that 4.6, and that's me competing against myself.
Right.
And if we're talking about jump, once the game starts or the battle or the fight or whatever you're doing to compete, once that starts, then I'm competing against you.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm competing against myself to beat you.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a whole nother aspect of being an athlete that they'll never be able to teach these people because they don't understand it.
Yeah, but also because their ankles are so fat.
And it's like, you can't stop telling these people you're training them like an athlete. You don't even know what an athlete does, what an athlete is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
God, I feel like I'm being so gross on this podcast.
Yeah, what's wrong? Allergies or what?
Dude, yeah, whatever that last front is brought in is just like,
Yeah.
give me a little tickle in the back of my throat. And it's
But Dustin
really
Sand.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Booty sweat and regret?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't drink booty sweat.
And I think that was the biggest, that's the whole biggest part of like the gym world, because a lot of people don't understand there's a difference between training and working out.
Yeah.
A huge difference. Massive difference between training and working out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that aspect of the world.
Yeah. Because I guess training is fine-tuning your body to become better, while
Yeah.
working out is just maintaining something.
Yeah. Like as an athlete, you're not going to walk around at your peak fitness constantly.
Right.
You're going to be in shape, but you don't want to hit that peak fitness until competition time.
Right.
Until it's time to fight or it's time for the season to start.
Yeah,
You
because
know
there
what I
is a
mean?
point where that also becomes unhealthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And just so like a bodybuilder, they pick things up, put them down. You know, some may do cardio, some don't believe in cardio. The whole
Oh, I'm a firm believer
bodybuilding
in
world
cardio. I
is
just hate doing it.
right. And so when you talk to like people that work out, some will tell you, "Oh, you don't need cardio. Cardio doesn't burn fat. Cardio doesn't do this. Cardio's healthy for you."
Yeah.
But when you're talking to an athlete or somebody that's training, they're like, "You're crazy if you think I'm gonna get out there and compete with somebody with no cardio."
Right. 'Cause that
You
is
know
one
what
of
I'm
the things that
saying?
helps you build stamina.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm like, yeah, you can have this amazing looking body, but what can you do with it?
Right.
You know, that was always the biggest thing for me, for the group of people I was with.
Yeah.
Whether it's fighting, football, track, basketball,
Mm-hmm.
we would always look at that. Like, yeah, you have these big, amazing muscles. You're a bodybuilder. You look great. But if you step out on this field or in this ring, I'm going to devour you.
Yeah, you're
You
not
have
going to last if you can't
have-
breathe.
Yeah, you have no competition skills.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, there's a difference between competing and just working out.
Those are big facts.
Yeah. So that was fun working in the gym industry. Now I'm fat. And now I'm actually, working out. The biggest thing now is I need to fix my diet, though.
Yeah, food is so nice.
The biggest thing.
Food gets me so moist.
Yeah. That's weird.
Well, it's delicious.
I love food, man.
Yeah. Speaking of food, I've had a couple of jobs in the food industry.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them did I enjoy.
No?
No, truthfully.
Did you ever cook?
Yeah. Well, that was more with the most recent one.
Okay.
Because when you're a manager, they make you learn and do everything, especially when there's management still above you within the restaurant. Like, I had one GM that I worked under that was pretty cool for the most part, but he was kind of a douche too. Like, where if he was on shift, like they had certain layouts that we would have to stick to throughout the day, like certain tasks at certain times. Mm-hmm. And if you opened, like the first part of your morning was spent in the kitchen, the second part was spent on the floor with customers.
Gotcha.
And then like your mid would come in and they would spend half the day on the floor, and then half like at night would be in the kitchen.
Right.
Well, this particular manager was just like, he always wanted to be on the floor. Well, both of them that I worked under there, actually. And so I was basically like a glorified QA for a long time, and then would go in and get in the way of my cooks who knew what they were doing, you know?
Yeah.
And lots of burns.
Yeah.
Cuts, never
so
fun.
in the food industry, is there, like you see on the movies where there's like this chef, a star chef that everybody else works for him, and it's his recipes, and it's...
Yeah.
Is it like that?
Maybe in like a scratch kitchen.
Okay.
Or like a 5-star joint where there's an actual chef. But where I worked was like a chain restaurant, or everything that I've worked at was chain. And it was just like some butthole in a suit in corporate would be like, y'all need to do this, this, and this, and not like actually get in the kitchen and work a long shift with us and like understand that some of the things they wanted us to do was not even possible.
Right. And
with our time constraints.
I know it was like that at Zio's. They had a chef, but the chef never did anything at all. Everybody else worked the kitchen. He just kind of was just there.
Why?
If he was even in the kitchen. And they weren't any of his recipes. They weren't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
He more than anything just like checked for quality, I guess.
I guess so, but everything
like
is
half-assed that too.
Right, but now in these food chains, like everything's frozen anyway. It's like,
it's real gross.
What are you checking?
It's real that it's not frozen.
That it's not still frozen. Yeah. Oh my God! That
what?
I went to a restaurant on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, and I ordered some fajitas. It comes out on the cast iron. It's sizzling, like you hear it popping and sizzling.
Yeah.
And then the chicken was still so cold you can just touch it, and it was literally cold.
Gross.
And I was like, how's this even possible? You heated up the skillet and then just threw this stuff on there?
You want to know a fun fact about the skillets?
What?
Well, at least in the restaurant that I worked in, nothing is cooked on them.
Really? It's
Not
just thrown on it.
Like they would throw some of the meat through the I forgot what the word was. It was like a oven that had like a belt that would go through, like pizzas would go on.
Pizzas, yeah.
And then like some of it would go on the grill. And then they basically the skillet is just a plate. It just looks, it's an aesthetic thing. And they would put the meat that they already cooked on the skillet and then pass that underneath the QA window. And the QA would take that and put the skillet on like a instant like stovetop situation that would like heat up really, really fast, and then they would throw what's called sizzle sauce on it, which basically is just
water.
It's a liquid that makes smoke.
Oh wow!
And like that's what. So like your fajita skillets or whatever, you're not.
Wow. So they threw cold chicken on that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I let him. I was like, hey man, like this stuff is cold.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, we get it fixed. So they ended up taking care of the bill, but it's like, come on, we're on the Riverwalk. First of all, you have to bring it.
Right.
You know what the Riverwalk in San Antonio, and you bring me cold fajitas.
Yeah.
Like
the whole thing is like a spectacle for media. Like you need to be.
Yeah. You're here. You have to bring A game.
Yeah, especially if you're charging freaking $30 for crappy fajitas.
Yeah, you're on the Riverwalk. There is no B or C game. Like it's strictly A game.
Yeah.
You have no other option.
Big facts.
And yeah, that was a huge letdown. But I mean, I'm sure they just went and microwaved it or something. They didn't even.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, I know I didn't get fresh food, but
yeah, there was a lot of times where we would do the same thing. Yeah. I mean, like if they would complain about pasta being cold, like we'd literally take their food and stick it in the microwave, maybe throw some fresh Alfredo on it and some like seasoning and be like, that's it. Yeah, because we don't have time. You don't have time. Like if you're gonna, I get it if the order is wrong or like. Not prepared correctly and it's cold, that's one thing, but like people that just complain, like we don't have time
exactly
in the food industry to do that when we have 30 other people behind you that are putting orders in. Hashtag going.
A lot of people don't realize that it's like there's so much going on back there. Orders are going to get messed up. There's no way there's not going to be a mistake.
Yeah, because all of us are, I mean, everybody in that kitchen is a human,
right?
But B, have probably already been working a double, like have been in their feet in a hot ass kitchen all day long, like slaving away.
Yeah.
And people don't consider that
at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, there's 100% going to be a mistake.
But also, don't go to a restaurant and order a steak at a restaurant that's not a steak restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it's most likely not going to be cooked correctly.
Exactly.
Mom. Yeah, I don't ever want to work in the food industry again because I like I said, was a manager at that one, and at that same restaurant I was a server for a couple of years, or a year, maybe half a year. I don't even remember the timeline really. But that was some of like the fattest money I ever made, like some of the easiest money serving.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know if it's cocky to say, but like I feel like I have a fun personality, and like, people would feed into that. And especially if you're paying attention to small details like whether or not they take the lemon out of their cup, or, if they're using a lot of napkins, just bring some extra. They don't have to ask. Like, it's not a hard job. There's a lot going on, but it's not hard to pay attention.
Right.
And then people would just tip like crazy, like for me, which was nice.
Did you have to split those tips with the bussers?
We didn't have bussers.
No, you had to bus your own tables?
Wow. Yeah, which made it even harder because we were doing literally everything.
Yeah.
The only people that we had to share tip with was the bartender.
Gotcha.
And I think it was like 10%.
Okay, I could respect that.
Yeah. But I think that was also like after a certain threshold. Like if you were only walking out with like $20, well, maybe you still had to tip 20 cents or something. I don't know. But I got in a fight one time on social media with a guy that...
Not a physical fight?
No.
Okay.
On social media.
I'm listening.
He was... man, I hope this doesn't bite me in the ass, but he pissed me off because he was like, man, it's ridiculous that we go out to restaurants and like have to pay all this money for this expensive food that's not even that great, whatever, which is fine. Totally get that.
Right.
But that he was like, and then on top of that, be expected to tip. Like, we shouldn't have to tip people. And I was like, yeah, you absolutely should.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for a luxury service.
Right.
Like, somebody else cooked it.
Yeah.
And then somebody made sure, like, waited on you, hand and foot, made sure you had everything you needed.
Next time, go to Walmart.
Right. Cook your own damn food.
Cook your own stuff. Like,
for real. And, I got on to him. He's like, well, other countries don't do it. And I'm like,
I don't care what other
this
countries
is America.
Right.
Don't catch me. I was like, you can't.
I don't care what they're doing in other countries.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because that's not the custom there.
Right.
This is the custom here. Exactly. This is how we do things. And if you're going to go and have somebody serve you and like provide you a luxury, you have to pay for it.
That irritates me because, that's an argument that's brought up a lot. Well, these other countries aren't doing it. Well, this country ain't doing that. Yeah, that other country isn't America either.
Yeah.
Like, go live in that other country if you want their customs and their lifestyles, go.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping you.
Right. And one of the other arguments he had was like, well, why am I paying $20 for one meal? And I'm like, because the guy that cooked it for you makes $20 an hour.
Right.
Like, on top of all of the preparation, the 4 people that prepared the food that the cook prepares.
Right.
Like, they all have to get paid. And plus, like, the orders we would make, it was like $10,000 every 3 days we would spend on just food. So, like, of course it's going to be expensive because then you got to think of, like, the actual logistics of it. There's a truck driver and gas and packaging and all of the other crap. Like, all of that costs a lot of money. So you're lucky if you get to go to a restaurant and pay $15 for one meal.
And you chose to go to that restaurant.
That's on you.
Yeah, and you picked that on the menu. So.
And it's not my fault that your kids didn't order the piece of crap pizza that you made them order.
Right.
So, or didn't eat what you made them order. I don't know if I said that right, but
yeah, you chose that.
Yeah,
but and you hear people complain about it like, every time. You hear this all the time. I've been coming here for years, and not one time have I left happy. Well, who's the dumb one in this equation?
You keep coming back.
Right. Who's the dumb one in this equation?
Yeah.
It's you. Yeah. I worked at a car wash, and I can't count how many times I heard that. And literally, it got to the point where at first I was like, man, we got to fix this. And then after a while, it's like, no. Dummy, you're the one that keeps sticking your hand in the fire. Yeah. You can't tell me that you been coming here for years, not one time have left happy, and yet you're still choosing to come here and have this argument every time you come.
Jeez. Some people just want stuff for free.
Yeah.
Excuse me, which we had our fair share of.
Right.
And like every job, people just want free stuff. They want something for nothing.
Yeah.
Including employees.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, no, Buster.
You should answer it.
No.
You're live on the podcast.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I will never ever work in the food industry ever again if I can avoid it, because that's just the worst times of my life. Especially in management where you get treated like a number and not a person. It's just the absolute worst.
Right.
But I did that. I did some butchering, cutting meat and stuff.
You know what?
At HEB.
That is something that I've been interested in, is doing butcher work.
You know, I enjoyed it for the most part because my management that I had was like a no BS kind of lady. She was just like, hey, do this. This is what needs to be done before you leave. And as long as you were hustling, she didn't bother you.
Right.
But like if you get to stand in a area that's very air conditioned, if you can handle the cold and just cut and listen to music, and you're golden.
Wow.
That part of it I enjoyed.
See, but I wanted to go to like a butcher shop, not like a place like HEB or Walmart.
Oh, you want to process?
Yeah. I want to go do the whole process.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get into it because I would accidentally cut a stomach or a butthole, and then it would just be a nasty smell.
I would be
barfing everywhere.
You know, I can skin animals. I can process it all myself.
Yeah.
The way we do it, me and my uncle. But to go to an actual butcher shop and learn on all these different animals would be amazing.
Like learning all the different cuts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, learning the particular cuts.
It's fascinating.
Because I don't know that. We just cut it. We quarter it, cut it up the way we want it.
Right.
But to separate each muscle, each roast, each individual group would be pretty cool to learn.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting.
You know what? I think I'm going to apply at one.
You do you.
On my days off. And just be like, yeah. And, make money while learning and having fun doing that.
Yeah.
Would be just cool.
It's just, I mean, it's too, life is too interesting and too short to just do one thing.
Exactly.
You need to have experiences to figure out what you like.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. And I think they get paid pretty good. I know I follow these.
I mean, our department was the highest paid department in the store.
Wow.
Yeah.
I follow these they're Butcher Brothers on YouTube. And no, the Bearded Butcher. That's what the Bearded Butcher. And it's two brothers that run their family butcher shop.
Yeah.
And it's like a craft. They love it. They literally love it so much they started a YouTube channel about it.
That's neat.
And it's freaking cool to watch.
I want to love something that much.
Yeah. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. For sure. Like I said, that's not for me.
Bottom line,
I don't
want
want to do it anymore.
Conversation is tip your waiters.
Oh yeah,
Tip your waiters.
they're working so hard to give you a fun
tip
time.
those people at Sonic too. You know they don't make much money.
You know, I didn't know that was a thing really
Yeah.
until late 20s, like 26, 27.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm 28 now, so that's
Yeah.
not that long ago.
Yeah, Sonic
didn't realize
people
that they
need
worked on
tips
tips.
too. So tip those guys. And Sonic has great food, great drinks.
Tip them more if they're on skates.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's a thing. I think they even get paid more if they're on skates.
For sure.
And that's hard.
Oh, man.
Working on those skates. I bet you, like, you'll never see anybody. If you're not in shape when you start working on those skates, you're going to be in shape in no time.
That's terrifying to me, though, unless they had a very special floor in there, because I know, like, even working in the restaurant that I did, like, they required you to wear non-slip shoes.
Non-slip shoes. They got non-slip wheels?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because those, like those rubber scooter wheels that are on the bottom of rollerblades and skates and stuff,
Right.
they have no
None.
traction whatsoever. And I have full on slipped and busted my butt in non-slip shoes on a wet floor.
Right.
Like, so I can't imagine.
On skates.
They've got to be covered by insurance. Like, for it.
I'm pretty sure that's why they've cut back on them.
Probably.
Because I believe at one point in time in Sonic's history, all of them had to wear skates.
Oh, that it was a requirement for
Yeah.
everybody. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
So I'm sure that had a lot to do with, all right, we're done paying workers' comp. You know?
What was the coolest thing you ever learned from a job?
The coolest.
What's takeaway? A good takeaway from today?
Ghosts are real. Tip your waiters. The coolest thing about, dude, I've had so many jobs.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about the coolest thing I've learned about a job, I guess it's just because I'm older now and my mind is different. But working as an electrician is probably the coolest job that I love because,
you're solving puzzles all day long.
All day long.
Yeah, that's
you're
neat.
running wires. You get to see this house literally before the foundation's even made.
Yeah.
There's some houses where we're out there and we're having to lay out and map out where the wires are going to be going.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times when the house is being made, the customer changes their mind and you have to make adjustments and you have to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah.
Some wires are hot, some wires are not.
Oh, that's a fun.
Yeah.
That's a fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know another cool job that
I would be so afraid to take a piss on a construction site.
I've been shocked through my drill one time. Oh. I had my drill on it and I touched the metal part of the drill and it zapped me.
That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some interesting times.
I think based on my work history, the coolest thing that I've learned is how to treat people.
Right.
As like flipping the position here, because like as a server, like I know how bad it sucks when people are dog trash to you.
Right.
And so now as a patron to a restaurant, like I know not to treat them like crap. Yeah. Like I know how hard it is. And like
I've never understood the people that actually can go in there and treat people like crap.
They're awful. Her name is Karen, and she's the devil.
And she wants to speak to the manager.
Yeah.
I've never understood
Karen
how
and her husband Richard.
Yeah.
They both need to frick off.
How people can actually go into an establishment and feel like just because it's your job.
Yeah.
That I can treat you like crap. I can treat you how I want to because this is your job.
Because I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
No.
And there's so many people that have that attitude. that if I'm spending my money here, you work for me because I'm spending my money here.
Yeah,
and
no.
it's like, no, I don't. You don't sign my checks.
Right.
And this company will be just fine without your dollar.
Yeah, that's what makes me laugh the most when people are like, I'm helping to pay the bills around here.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Your $7.25 is not going to pay for
Right.
a fraction of the $10,000 food order.
Exactly. Like, it's so annoying for people to have that cockiness.
Yeah.
You know, that is annoying, people.
Yeah. I feel
So
like
if you're that person and you're listening to this,
don't listen to this podcast. You don't deserve it.
I don't like you. I want you to know that. And if you see me and you know I don't like you now, you can talk to me about it if you want to.
You could try to convince me otherwise,
Yeah.
but it's not going to happen.
I don't like you.
Yeah, I think that everybody needs to work. Like, you know how some countries require you to go into the military for like
Right.
at least 6 months to a year?
Yeah.
I feel like in the U.S., our youth should be required to work 6 months retail, 6 months food service, and then, I don't know, there was another one that I had in mind, but I can't think of it.
I don't know. That would be pretty dope.
But yeah, you need to learn what it's like to be in those positions.
Yeah.
And then you can go out and decide how to treat people.
Right.
Because until then, you're just an entitled piece of garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate kids. Okay, so I think that is, we're in about an hour.
Are we?
A little over, actually.
It's so much easy just talking to people. I love you guys. I love all our fans.
What about me?
You too, Hunter.
It's okay. You don't have to say it.
Definitely you too. We're family.
But for sure, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much again for listening to the I Don't Know Bro podcast.
I don't know, bro. I'm so happy y'all are here. I don't know why you're here.
Where can they find you?
Oh, man. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Facebook is actually going to be ZB Baldwin for my Facebook. My Instagram is Z_Baldwin. And you can definitely look me up on Snapchat. It's ZB_06. That was a great year of my life. So definitely look me up. If you write me, I will 100% write you back.
For sure. And I do have links, I believe, to both of our Twitters on the I Don't Know Bro podcast Twitter page. Excuse me. God, I'm gassy. I don't I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. So find us on the internet at I Don't Know. Nope. At IDK Bro Podcast.
IDK Podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram. And Cash App if you want to donate. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
My name is Hunter. I'm at Hey It's Oho on everything. And
you might want to spell that out.
HEYITSOHO.
There you go.
And we love you guys so much. Thank you again.
Love you guys.
Bye.